Welcome back to another video with the boys. And today, today's topic is going to be, will dating a 10 out of 10 woman improve your self-esteem? So that is the question we're trying to answer here. We're not going to give the answer away right away. Watch the video all the way to the end to figure that out. And we're going to divide it up into a few different topics. First, we'll do an introduction about the currently very popular opinion that's out there. All right. And then we move into attachment, how attachment styles relate to our self-esteem and also dating in general. Then we're going to talk about the concept of being versus forcing things. Then we move into shame versus acceptance and exploration of our own conditioning and what's been put on us from our parents and society. And then lastly, we'll do a little conclusion where we kind of reveal, it's going to be revealed in the process, but we're going to conclude it again like a little summary, like, is dating a 10 going to help you improve your self-esteem? So without further ado, Leo, take it away. What's the currently popular opinion, and is it a conscious opinion, is it unconscious, that's running in us about dating a 10 and how that relates to our self-esteem? All right, super quick before we dive into today's content. If you are looking to become a truly high-value man, if you want to become the best version of yourself as a man, the highest potential you can possibly reach in this human form, and you also want to have amazing relationships with other people, with women in particular, if you want to learn how to have thriving, healthy, passionate, deeply fulfilling relationships, then don't forget to subscribe below this video, hit the notification bell so that whenever we post a new video, you will directly be notified. And also like this content if you enjoy it, right? If this resonates with you. And then don't forget to leave a comment, anything that you find valuable, anything you want to share from your own personal experience, post it below the video, and I'll be sure to check it out and respond to you. And then lastly, we do have an exclusive Facebook group, which is also linked somewhere below this video. Go check it out, join the Facebook group. I'll be doing exclusive live calls on there where I'll be sharing some of the most transformational tools that have helped me on my journey, that have helped Leo on his journey, and obviously a lot more stuff that I'll be discovering that I'll be sharing with you only inside the Facebook group. So without further ado, enjoy, and I'll see you there. Peace.
I think there is a need of control quite impregnated in our society. So first is, what is a 10? So that's one of the big discussions of nowadays. What is a 10? What she needs to do? Is she a supportive girl? Is she good? She knows how to cook. She knows how to do all this like nurturing stuff. Or what is her body count? And all of that. And all these questions now also quite popping up, where a guy go in the street and he asks, how do you rate yourself? And then she says, oh, I'm a 10. Oh, I'm a 5. And then some guy is commenting like, oh, she's not a fucking 10. She's like this. Or the girl that is a bit more chubby, let's say, she said that she's a 10 and everyone's like, she's not a 10 and all of that. So basically what we see really strongly is just like this really strong idea of controlling. Controlling what? What is the rate of that person? If that person has this rate, what does it means to me? And what is my rate in relation to that? So it's like me as a guy also. Now it's not only important the rate of the girl, because you're seeing the girl and you're trying to create putting her in a specific box, let's say. And now it's up to you also to say, okay, but now me as a man, what is my rate? Am I a 10? What do I need to be a 10? How can I control this? Because what I want in the end is to date a 10, of course. So I need to find, what is this 10? What makes me a 10? How can I date this 10? And how can I be seen by this? So you see there's a lot of control here, right? So there's a few questions that we can start asking to go a bit in a deeper level to understand, okay, but why we are trying to understand what is a 10? What is in the way of that? And why it's so important for us to even think, oh, she's a 10, so I need to get her, because that makes me also a 10. So that gives me value. But why we seek for that? Why are we looking for that? What is behind all of that? that makes us to inquire all these things in the first place? I think that's the biggest question that most people don't want to talk about, because of course it's more engaging to go in the street and ask for random girls, how do you score yourself? And then ask guys to look at the photo of this girl and be like, do you agree with her? Yeah, it's engaging, it's fun, it's funny, it's entertainment. But we don't want entertainment here.
One, it's entertainment, and it's also everybody almost gets their say in this. And especially if they can do it from the comfort of behind their computer, it's like anonymously, maybe even. They don't even they don't have to say who they are. It's just like, oh, what the fuck? Like, she's definitely a 4 or something. Like, giving your own opinion, and not only that, but also putting all your own resentments and stuff into the rating. So it's like this whole grading system, and really it's not accomplishing anything. Right? It's like this constant evaluation and judgment, like we're just perpetuating the judgment of ourselves. And then a big thing I realized, the less I accepted myself, the more flaws I found in other people. So the more I accepted myself, all the flaws, all the stuff that you pushed away so hard that you were like, oh, this is really ugly about me and da-da-da-da-da, the more you do that, the more you can, you don't even see the flaws in other people anymore. You start to really see them. Whereas before, you're projecting all these things onto the other people, right? And then it's actually just, it has nothing to do with the other person ultimately. Then you're grading. It's all about you. And it's kind of like you could say, how you see yourself, that's how you're going to rate the other person.
Go for it.
Right.
And if you want to start going a bit deeper into this, and then first realizing why this idea of dating a 10 is so strong ingrained in myself, if that's your case, and if you're consuming this type of content, it means that you are interested in knowing how you can optimize this. How can you go the next level? Because I was just dating 7 and 8s and they are like this, but now I want to start dating 9s and 10s, but to date 9 and 10, I need to be rich. I need to be like this. I need to be like that. And, again, control. All of that is control. But why do you think you need all this control? Why does all of this comes to your mind in the first place? And that's when we can start talking about secure and insecure attachment styles. And why is it even important for us to think about dating and have this layer of first, what the fuck is even attachment style? And that's I'm going to give to you, Martin. I think you are way better at explaining this. But the idea that you need to find in the external, let's say, roles, an answer for you to feel okay, that in itself is already pointing you towards a specific result or a specific experience of life. Because then you need you need the external to make you feel that you have this self-esteem, or that you have confidence, or that you were this type of person, that you can go in the role, that you can navigate life being a 10. Because, I'm dating now this 10, so in my mind, I have this vision or this idea that will make me navigate life like a valuable man, like a valuable guy. But that is not treating the root cause of why you think you need to go to that specific 10, to that specific girl. That is, it's like a surface level assumption or a surface level idea. And then when you get there and you start, let's say, a relationship with a 10, the new question starts to pop up. It's like, am I losing my skills by staying in this relationship? Maybe when this relationship ends, I'll not be able to date another 10. Maybe I should get out of this relationship. Or is this girl really a 10? Maybe she's not. What does that say about me then? I need more girls. I need to date more girls. Now I need to find an excuse why it's okay for me to cheat girls all over the place, because I need that extra validation that I'm Genghis Khan, that I can fuck as many girls as I want. I can have as many child as I can, and all these ideas that, you start going back to this evolutionary psychology to create excuses. I'm not saying that it's not good to understand evolutionary psychology. I think it's important. But then you say like, oh, but men, they really want to have as many kids as they can to be this, because evolutionary, they want to spread their genes. But then you look, the guy doesn't even have one kid, and he's using this excuse to explain why he's going for the hottest girl or why he needs to be a cheater or all of that. So he builds up a lot of these unconscious ideas to try to justify something externally that we need to understand that it's not external that is going to give you this sense of secure, this sense of being okay, the sense of navigating life from the secure place. And from the secure place, you can fully navigate life and you can fully get to those things, let's say polyamorous relationships or having multiple kids or getting the 10 or not getting the 10. It just doesn't matter because inside you have everything that you need to be okay with being in that specific place. If it's a relationship with one girl, it's fine. You don't need the external to validate you and look at you and be like, oh, you were the man because you have a 10, or you are not the man because you're dating a 5, or whatever it is. All of this becomes not important anymore because you give yourself what you need, the secure place. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. What I almost like I wanted to give a slightly different, like a corroboration, like a underpinning that might make it a little bit more clear even what you were talking about for someone. And that is what I'm hearing you say is it's all predicated if we really peel back all the layers. And we can only do that if we have enough awareness. That's ultimately going to decide whether you choose to use the external as a justification for what you already, for example, for saying, I just need to fuck 100 girls or I need to be with a 10, right? And you use that as justification, or if you can see why you're really doing it. And so if we peel back the layers, it's all predicated at the core on the fact that on some level we feel we're wounded. We have a wound. And then that wound creates this desire and these pursuits in our life, like, oh, I need to get this 10. And it's all predicated on the wounds that creates a certain feeling that we're not even aware of. So it's all happening unconsciously. But then we go and we seek out all these things. And we think it's the woman. We think it's the 10. It's this, right? Mm-hmm. And ultimately we have to see like the woman is just another effect. Like it's an effect because the fact that we think we're wounded is already a misperception. Mm-hmm. It feels that way. And based on that, we act. Based on that this is our conditioning and our own traumas. And then we look around and we say, well, if I'm feeling this way, then I need to fix it with this solution. So even the things we're looking at as solutions is already looking through the lens of our conditioning and our traumas. So it's already an effect, which means it can never actually bring us the resolution and the peace that we're looking for, this okayness that you're talking about. Right, and if we talk about attachment styles, like what we want to be is we want to feel secure, because that really gives us this sense of doesn't matter if I'm by myself, if I'm with a really attractive woman, if I'm with a quote unquote 5, because I want to be there with this woman, right? Like it doesn't matter anymore. That gives us this inner okayness with wherever we're at in that moment. But most of us, we're insecure on some level, and there's generally 4 types. First there's the secure type, obviously, which is roughly 50% of the population. And then there is one is the disorganized, which is kind of like a mix of dismissive and preoccupied, like anxious, preoccupied, and dismissive. And then there's also more dismissive in and of itself and also anxious, preoccupied in and of itself. So we have these 4 types, right? And generally attachment styles, they're stemming from childhood. Like that's when this is developed, how we then later show up as adults in our life. And usually there's 5 check boxes. I don't want to go into all of them, but basically those are things that we needed as a child. So as an example, there would be attunement, right? How attuned were our parents to our needs? When we were crying, were they able to see that and come and comfort us, right? Could they soothe us? So there's like different things that we needed as a child. And if we didn't get that, then we have this insecure attachment style. And that's then carried over into our adult life. And that's when we, for example, feel like, oh, I'm feeling anxious all this time. And then we're like, oh, I'm also single. So we make the connection between I'm anxious and it's because I don't have a woman in my life. So maybe I'll need the woman and that's going to make me feel less anxious and insecure. So that's how we come up with these things, right? Like it's an effect already. We think something is wrong. We act based on this effect and try to find a solution. So, oh, here's the woman that can make this go away. But the question really is, can it ever make this go away? Yeah.
And I think we can also add to this that you're saying, the seen part. So not only I'm alone, but how can I be seen now? And then we add the extra layers of, for me to be seen, I need a 10. I need this. I need this amount of girls. I need to show up in the world like this. And that's why we can say that pickup in itself, and that's why it's also so appealing for people to see pickup content or red pill content, because it's kind of giving a solution in your face to why it's so uncomfortable, this feeling of being alone or not having a woman. And it's like working in this really surface part of the problem, and you can see it clearly in your face. The problem, it seems to me, that is, I don't have girls with me. So now I need to work hard to make money because girls want money. And that is going to give me the underlying solution to this uncomfortable feeling that I have inside myself. So it gives you a place to go. It gives you a path to go. And when you get to this path, guess what? It doesn't change the underlying feeling. It doesn't change this insecure, let's say the insecure attachment. It doesn't change that. You are still that, but now in a new place. And then you seek for the next thing. And that's why we tell guys, okay, you want to learn how to approach, you want to learn how to pick up and all of that, it's fine. It's part of the process. It can be the part of your process. But that is not going to change the fundamental problem that we have here. But what if we go back and instead of asking ourselves if that girl is a 10, if we can qualify this girl that I'm interested in is a 10, why we don't go to this place where you see the girl, you are attracted, and you go talk to her? Because you don't need this extra mind games happening in your head. Oh, is she a 10? Oh, is she going to be a good mother? Nah, she's dressing like that. She must be like this, so I'm not going to go. So your mind and your conditioning gets in the way of the real experience of the things that gets in the way of your full expression. Let's put it in that way. So yeah.
And not only that, like it's also like putting people on a scale and judging them, like it's going to keep you trapped in your own belief systems and your own conditioning. Like you're basically saying, I'm locking myself in here with the key and I'm going to throw it out the window, like whatever, I can't get it anymore. And now I'm locked even more in this box of what I already used to believe. And that includes me judging myself and putting myself on a scale. So you're not getting out by judging other people, and you're cheating yourself of all these amazing experiences that would help you evolve as a human being. And a big part is really this fear. The more you judge, the more you're afraid of judgment from other people. So for me, a big part was bringing a girl home when everybody else in the house was like, oh, this is a trickster, this is an 8, this is a 9. And I was like, oh shit, if I bring this girl home, they're going to be like, ooh, what is this trickster doing here? And like, I personally find her very attractive. You know, it doesn't mean you have to. But that fear kept me trapped like for a really long time, where I almost didn't, like I wanted to rather hang out at the girl's place. You know, I'm like, I'll just come to yours, fine. Because I didn't want to be in that position where everybody's like talking shit behind my back and whatever. And a real mindfuck with this, what we have to see is, it's so appealing watching these infield videos, these pickup videos, because deep down we actually have the fear of being seen. And that was a huge revelation for me. It's not actually I wanted it so badly because I wasn't seen as a child, but at the same time there was so much pain associated with that I was holding on to, that me seeing someone else do this crazy shit out there was like the real drug. It's like I could stay comfortable while almost like projecting myself into that person and living through the experience that he's going through. So I'd really get the kick out of it. And I think that's why many of us are addicted to watching these videos, because we see someone else do the scary shit while we can just sit there and still feel good about ourselves. So it's our fear of being seen even. We really want to be seen. We want to get the attention and the approval from other people. But a lot of us still, especially the nice guys, then feel really uncomfortable when they do get the attention. And for me, it was literally, I noticed the difference, like when it was daylight out and I'm being around other people versus when it gets dark. You know, when people can't really see me as much anymore. That's how nuanced, like I could really see it. It's like people can't really see what I'm looking anymore. It's like this being seen and this association with the judgment, which ultimately created this insecure attachment style for me.
And I think that relates also a little bit what we go over in part 2, where we then create a shame around going for the things that we actually want. So like you said, I can only approach or can only show my desire to a girl when there's not other people looking at what I'm doing. And I remember that also, like approaching in a busy place, that for me was actually the opposite. It was easier because I felt that I looked cool, because there's a lot of people seeing me going and approaching a girl and be like, oh, wow, he's doing this, he must be the guy. That gave me like this energy to do the things in the moment. But if I'm alone, walking, and I'm going back from work, let's say, and I see like one girl passing by, it's just me and her, then it's like, oh no, now it's too personal. Now I can't do this. There's no one else looking. There's no one else to at least pat me in the back if I don't get the number, because at least I did the impossible of approaching. There's no one there. It's just me and her. It's just about meeting and connecting. I couldn't do that. That was so difficult for me, even though I just approached so many girls prior to that.
And so it can be both, right? One can be the not wanting to be seen and almost trying to hide it, which was more the case for me, like trying to do it in a more secluded way. And I've had this with other clients too, and they're like, yeah, being in a busy place where everybody can hear me, like I'd rather do it like in a park where nobody can hear me, like I can express my desires secretly, so there will be no judgment, right? And then for others, maybe like you, there's maybe on some level a little bit of a distraction because there's other people around, but at the same time, you can do it with other people watching because you're getting something different. It's like, oh, I won't be judged as harshly maybe if I don't get the number, if she blows me off, because I still did it, and most people can't even do the approaching part. So it's like these two sides. And one thing that came to mind that was really powerful is that I wanted to mention, because it's overarching this whole topic and many other videos that we've done, is this inner okayness has to come first before we even go do all this approaching stuff. It will not come from the approaching itself. You will not feel safe and secure just from going and approaching a lot. It will not come. That's the wrong approach, like it's gonna lead you into a dead end.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
It's like when they say fake till you make it. Nope.